My fellow Americans, I want to wish you a happy 244th birthday this coming Saturday, July 4th. I am happy to be among you as an oracle sent by the Almighty from the beyond to cheer you up during the days of the COVID-19 pandemic. I guess you know I'm Mark Twain, and I've come from the beyond because I've been dead for 110 years. I look pretty damn good for that long, don't I? Now, one of the first things I did about 2 months ago when I began these tapings was design this floral arrangement. The calla lilies are a nice addition to the Lysol handy wipes and the essential paper products that are as precious today as a bottle of water. Now, I've never drank water out of a bottle until I've been among you mortals just recently. A most interesting experience. I also designed a wine label for your happy hours, and I called it Selfie Quarantini. I hope you've had a chance to taste it. Now, speaking of wine, I crossed paths in the heavenly heights with the great British writer G.K. Chesterton, and he gave me permission to use a favorite line of his. And I quote, "Woe to the one who tries to reverse the miracle at Cana and turn wine back into water. I think that would be very risky." I've seen some wonderfully creative forms of social outreach during COVID-19 restrictions, and one of the best is a wine store in Cleveland, Ohio. During the days of their closure, an employee dressed up like a T-Rex dinosaur to deliver wine to customers sheltering in place at home. And they called it Wine-a-saur. Very clever indeed. The customers were happy. The owner of the store was happy. And wine got used for many happy hours. And that's the way it should be. When I heard that governors were gradually lifting restrictions and opening their states' economies, I was surprised by the term soft opening. I have never heard that before, so I concluded it meant just one thing. So I found the softest pillow I could, thinking that I had to use this whenever I visited a store that was having a soft opening. Well, that proved to be very educational because a lot of people made them laugh. One of the new things I've learned during my brief earthly journey is that a Mark Twain Prize for American Humor has been presented annually since 1998 by the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. While I am most gratified for this honor, it has inspired me to award my own prizes to certain companies and individuals who have gone out of their way to make America great during the burdens of this pandemic. So I have had special caps made for them. It's better than a trophy whose only purpose is to be an object that has to be dusted once a month. Now, back in the mid-1800s, we wore hats like this. But when baseball began in 1869 in Cincinnati, Ohio, then caps like this became very popular by the ball players, and all the fans went out and got their own cap. So my prizes are caps that recognize certain industries and people for their special brand of kindness during the past 4 months. And here is my select group. I had a cap made for all first responders, all ambulance drivers, emergency workers in the hospitals, those on the front line of taking care of people diagnosed with the disease immediately. And my second group to be honored are teachers in the United States. I agree with some of the parents in the TV ads that having to be part of the learning experience of teaching their children at home during quarantine, that teachers deserve to be paid $1 million. Also on my list is FedEx, who has been cheering America up by delivering packages to people's homes. And right behind them is UPS. Once I found out what those letters stood for, I decided to award you for keeping America smiling. Another group are truck drivers. And the message on your cap is you go extra miles for America, delivering produce and goods to Americans. Next are food banks. Now, back in my day, banks were institutions that took your money. And I am truly amazed by the concept that today banks are places where people can go to exchange the currency of compassion for food. Also on my list is a small business called Jersey Mike's, a submarine sandwich chain headquartered in New Jersey. They provided free meals to healthcare and essential workers during the worst days of the pandemic. Next is Joann Fabrics, an American retailer specializing in crafts and fabrics based in Ohio. They donated fabric and networked with people who had sewing machines throughout their stores to join in making face masks. Next is the Connor Group. The Ohio real estate founder Larry Connor gave $1.6 million in stock market dividends as bonuses to his employees in a show of appreciation amid the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Connor Group makes America great. I'm also recognizing nurse Brittany Provost. She works in the nursery at Our Lady of Lourdes Women's and Children's Hospital in Lafayette, Louisiana. Now, during the height of the pandemic, a newly born infant and its mother had to be separated shortly after the child's birth because the mother tested positive for COVID-19. Brittany stepped up and became the surrogate mom, caring for the baby, feeding it, rocking it to sleep, loving it until the baby and the mom could be reunited. I'm also recognizing Summit County Deputy Todd Hart, the resource officer for Green High School in Ohio. For 12 years, he went out of his way to visit the homes of all 317 graduating seniors to congratulate them during an age of social distancing when they missed the rites of passage of a senior prom and graduation. Deputy Hart makes America great. Now, I know there are many other citizens who have earned recognition, and I hope your communities and workplaces have done so. I want to recognize the creativity of some people who have made face masks during the COVID-19. Someone new friend that I met during my visit here to the United States made me this face mask based upon the great literary person Harry Potter. And then this is a homemade face mask given to me by a friend of mine. Some of them are very creative. Now, I hope all of you are practicing good kindness with one another by wearing masks when you're outside or in public. It's just a way of having a highly sensitized awareness for the common good. But I'm also aware that some of you are resisting this requirement, and your argument is based on inclusion of civil rights. So I have a suggestion for you. I think all those people who don't have a neighborly sense of the common good should get together and buy your own island and go off and live by yourselves where you don't have to wear any masks. You can do whatever you want. And I think it would be good if you named your island Arrogant Island. And when we cross paths with you, you can tell us that you are the arrogant ones. I bid you a good day, and I'll see you again.